Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. So, I was on Marine X's channel last night. We had a very interesting conversation. The other day, we tried to go live, and for some reason, it would not recognize my camera. We finally figured it out the next day, and it was a good live. I think I feel like we had a good time. He's got a really cool setup, and I hope to have the order that he has in his lives one of these days, because he has it like categorized, you know, for like current events and this and that. And I think that's awesome. And like I was telling you guys before, I'm thinking about lowering it down to one live a week so that I can do that. Um, because you know it's difficult for me to keep up. If you guys don't know, right now I'm trying to switch some of the content around and do a lot more more in-depth content, lots of testing. I got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now with testing that I think you guys will love, so stay tuned for that. But let's start talking about some damn knives. We got a lot of knives coming out. So there's one in particular, I can't tell you what it is. I cannot tell you what it is, but it drops tomorrow. It drops tomorrow. It is USA made. There's two knives. I can't tell you anything more, but it's pretty damn cool. I'll have my video dropping tomorrow as well, either right when they drop or right before. It's a pretty good one. And then we have what? The Jack Wolf coming right around the corner too. That's why I put the thumbnail up. We got the Jack Wolf. I got it right here. Listen to that ting. Listen to that. That's one cool thing that this one has that the After Hours doesn't. The After Hours doesn't have that ting. At least mine doesn't. Mine has the click, but it's that hollow ground clip point. Can you guys hear that? It's ching. It's so good, but it's because of the it vibrates all the way up to that tip, and that tip is so thin. So I love it. But yeah, we will have these on the Neevekniveco site, by the way. So if you guys are going to pick up any, definitely check out the Neevekniveco site. And everybody that was trying to get the stroppy stuff after they sold out, we have more on the way right now. So they'll be reloaded here very, very soon. Those do come from the UK. They're made in the UK. So it'll take, you know, about a week to fill. But anybody who's in the UK that's in here, if you want stroppy stuff or the stroppy stuff, leather, anything like that, just go directly to stroppy stuff because they're in the UK. So you could just literally buy it directly from them. And I don't know how long your guys' shipping takes, but I would imagine it'd be a lot fucking faster than buying from. Well, actually, if you bought it from me, you would still be buying it from the UK. I know you wouldn't. You'd be buying it from the US because I'd have to ship it to you. So yeah, unless if you use my HAPSTONE link. If you use my HAPSTONE link, then you'd be buying it from the UK. So because HAPSTONE is in the UK, I believe. I'm thinking I'm going to get a Kershaw live wire as my first OTF options. Oh, options. No, dude, that's a good one. The live wire is a good one. Anything Microtech is going to be good. You know, EMP has that Pulse, the USA made Pulse. I think those are sold out though, but that's a good one. Microtech's the easiest one to recommend because they're the ones that have the biggest name in the OTF business. But you have Heretic, you got there's a bunch of other ones. Max Ace has some pretty good OTFs. I got one right over here, pretty heavy duty. And you get a lot. You feel like you get a lot for your money from them. Lurking while on my ride home. Cheers, boys. Well, I appreciate you lurking. Thank you, Todd. That's the link to the Neevekniveco site, which we do have some knives there available right now. We're going to restock here very soon. I noticed different deployment methods can make different sounds on same knife. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because so the way you grip it also changes. So in many cases, the clip is the culprit for the ting or a vibration sound. Now, this one's not that in that case. This one, it's the blade. The vibration is going up the blade, but a lot of clips do it. So if you keep your finger off the clip and flick it, you'll hear a nice ting. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll wrap my hand around it so I can't touch the clip and I'll flick it and it'll give me a nice ting. because there's just different parts of your knife that vibrate differently, you know, to give you the different acoustics. Let's get with that. What? Be got with the got knives? What the? You're trying to give me a tongue twister. All right. John B says, yo, what's up, Neeves? Hope you and Kara are doing well. Glad I can hang out with you tonight. I'm glad you can too. I figured we just wing it tonight. Like I said, guys, I've been so busy behind the scenes. I got like fucking 8 videos going on right now behind the scenes. It's just haywire. I did recently, and you guys are probably gonna notice it coming up. I guess I should just say it. Hang on one second. Thank you, baby.
¿Quieres café, mi amor?
Thank you, baby.
Te amo.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. It's a damn dessert. Anyways, it's so good. I hired a company to do some editing for me. I hired an editing company to do some videos for me. Some long form videos. So these are videos that when I edit them, it takes me days and days and days to edit. And when you've already filmed for days and days and days, it's very difficult because it's like, how do I get a video and be able to work on multiple videos and put one up? Especially with the testing ones, you know, like I'm not talking about all my videos. I'm talking about like, you know, like a few a month, right? You know, maybe 4, 5, 6 a month that are super high quality, packed with information. It's very difficult for me to edit those and work on them at the same time. So I paid a company. I don't know how it's going to go. I might not keep them, but we're going to find out. So you guys might see that here coming up. You guys might notice some different editing things. I don't know how they're going to do it. Hopefully it doesn't look like shit. Hopefully you guys aren't like, yeah, get rid of these guys. You guys might be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yo, bang gangers. Finished a major project and I'm tired. Not up to tagging. Love you all. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate you at least jumping in. Just got a CRKT CEO flipper, and it's so stiff it sometimes hurts to deploy. Are there any fixes? Yes, absolutely. So you're saying the flipper tab is stiff to open? That's what you're saying? You got to take tension off of the lock bar. The lock bar's tension is too strong. So you have the lock bar with a detent ball, and it's pushing into a hole. You want to take tension off of that. So just, you know, bend it basically. Do it very gentle though. Remember, when you do it, a very little goes a long way. So you don't want to notice a change when you go to bend it. You want it to kind of feel the same when you bend it and then check it, because a little goes a long, long way. You remember, you can always bend more. So, a meatball is a small ball of meat that is cooked and eaten with sauce or in dishes like spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, dropping facts. Dropping the facts. What's up, J Dog and my Neeves family? What's up, Eli? Thank you for joining. Community beefs aside, Alex's Lamia is one hell of a cutter and offering LMAX crew and K30 options. I don't know what K30 is. Guessing his table will be rushed at blade. Yeah, dude, I haven't tried his shit. I have not tried it, but it looks good. Like I said, I've never tried it, but I've heard people say great things about it. So good for him, man. I hope he's very successful. Hopefully one day I get to try one. Thanks for coming in and getting that haircut today. Oh, what's up, Tony? As the guy who did my hair today. I appreciate you. I got that the USA apparel coming into Friday, so I wanted to make sure I had my hair cut because I'm gonna do a little photo shoot for the NEEVEKNIVECO site, because we're gonna have the USA apparel on there. Fuck, man, I can't wait for that shit. I've been trying to get that stuff for so long, and it's gonna be badass. It's gonna be really badass. Hopefully you guys buy some of that shit up, because yeah, like I said, I'm gonna probably do new art every month, drop some new stuff, or at least new designs. But we'll see how it goes. You guys know the FLN is in stock right now. My video is coming very soon. I know I said it'd be up in a couple days. It's going to take me a couple more days, probably like 2 days from right now. I'm going to try to finish it tomorrow, finish the editing the following day, but it is coming up. I had the karambit one right here. It must be out there now. Right now, I only have the two. But anyways, coming up very, very soon. So these are available right now on TKELL's website. You can buy them. It's got your boy's logo on it. Self-defense knife. It's a last-ditch effort. If somebody grabs you, gets on top of you, tries to pull you out of a car or anything like that, you know, it's it doesn't take any knowledge to use. That's the point of it, and that was kind of the idea behind it. In the video, I'm thinking about telling a story of a situation I was in, what kind of wrap my head around this type of design, because it, in my head, like the only thing I can think of that would have helped me in that situation would be something like this. But anyways, the point is that they can't prevent you from getting it. Right, it's right at the front of your belt, because that's where it goes right at the front of your belt. So your hands naturally already lay by your belt, so it's very difficult to stop you from getting to your belt. So since your hands are already there, you can easily get to it, and it's difficult to stop you. And then once you have it, having a hawk bill like that, right, it's like a cat's claw. So all it has to do is just touch. If it touches, it's going to do damage. It's going to tear. And most likely the situation that most people are going to be in, if they have to use it, they're going to have arms around them. They're going to have arms, you know, that's going to be kind of the situation. So you can attack the limbs and do maximum damage to the limbs or whatever body part you get a hold of. But that is the point. It is a self-defense knife. It's not trying to be anything else other than a self-defense knife. It's not trying to be pretty. It's not trying to be anything other than a weapon, you could say. A lot of the knives we talk about on the channel are not weapons. They're EDC knives, pocket knives, you know, really high quality knives or budget knives. But this is an absolute killer. But you know, hey, and the thing is that because of the way I positioned it was to sit forward. I know a lot of people like the karambit grip. I didn't like that because it's just not natural, right? Like, put something in front of you, like some cardboard, and get a karambit and go to work. See how natural it feels to you. Then turn that sucker around in the forward grip and do the same amount of time. See which one you can do more damage with. I can almost promise you it's going to be the forward grip. It's just more natural, right? Your hands naturally go that way. So that was the point, you know, is that grandma could use it. Anybody could use it. Anybody can use it in a last-ditch effort. Hey, Chris Reynolds. But I remember for 8 months, got a Vero Mini Synapse in carbon. Such a banger. Yeah, those Veros are dope. I think I have 2 or 3 of them. I have a couple. Oh, you meant K390. I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't positive. Yeah, shout out to Tony, man. Shout out to Tony. He did a good job. Look at that. Look at that. That looks damn good. I love K390 so much, and I never had it before. It's a definite goal of mine. K390 is my favorite steel. That stuff is an absolute beast. Like, if you watch edge retention tests, like most tests for edge retention tests don't exceed like 1,000 cuts or 1,000 feet or whatever, but K390 can. Like, it's just an absolute beast. And there's not very many steels, like when you're talking about all steels, that can hold a candle to K390. There are some steels that can, but they're very few. They're very limited. And K390, the reason why I consider it my favorite is because that shit gets so unbelievably sharp when you know how to sharpen. Like, people tend to think that, you know, knives, steels, right, they're kind of all the same. They all get the same level of sharpness, and that's just absolutely not true. They have different qualities, different hardnesses, different compositions, and then they have a different ability to do different things. Some of them are tough. Some of them have maximum edge retention. Some of them, you know, are basically just for corrosion resistance. There's so many different factors. So that all plays a part in the way they take an edge. And K390, takes a screaming sharp edge and then holds it so good. Thank you, Todd. Yes, there's the link to TKELL if you guys want to pick up an FLN. I do have another knife design coming out that will be actually felon, because I wanted to make a knife design that actually used the word felon. And I couldn't do that with this one for whatever legal reason. So it's the FLN, but we have a real felon coming, and we got the prototypes coming very, very soon, guys. Very, very soon. I'm very, very excited about. We got a couple coming, so everything's going to be kind of lining up pretty tight to each other. I'm going to have a couple knife designs coming out that are some really good folders. I told you guys about the Reat one we got coming. Yeah, it's going to be badass. Hello, Jared and Karen, all you crazy knife people. What's up, Billy? I love my FLN too. Just hadn't carried it in a bit. Yeah, I put a different clip on mine. So it comes with this clip, which I honestly don't like. I don't like this clip because I wear a leather belt. If I was wearing like a tactical belt, that'd be different, but I like leather. So what I do is I tuck this on the inside of my pants, and then this goes around the outside of my pants. So then this is on the inside, kind of like you do a pistol. And it works. It works great. So I can sit down, I can move, I can bend down. I don't even notice it. But it's still right there in that area. Stasa did a video earlier showing how he was carrying it, and he was carrying it on the belt with this clip. And it looked like it worked out pretty good for him. He said he was driving and stuff, and he said it worked good for him, you know, for every which way he was using it. I didn't have 5 Spydercos 2 weeks ago. That's how it goes, man. Then I held, flicked, and forgave myself for hating on the leaf shape. Pair of twos feels so good in hand for me. You know, that's literally a story for everybody. I thought they were the ugliest knives. And here's a Spyderco for anybody who doesn't know Spyderco. This is just one Spyderco. There's lots of Spydercos, but a lot of them have this leaf-shaped blade with a hole. Most of them do. So a lot of people look at them and are like, that's a fucking ugly knife. And most people would agree with you. They're very ugly. But when you get them and you use them, you wind up finding out like, oh, I get it. You know, it's like the hole. The hole is designed for you to use whether it's cold, whether you're wearing gloves, whether you're not wearing gloves, to be able to get it out fast, right? And effortlessly. But then the ergonomics, the blade geometry, you know, the choke up spot, the locks, everything is just built to last and built for use. When I first joined the community, I heard somebody say that these knives were built around the hand and the user, not for beauty. So the last thing they cared about was how it looked. If you're carrying a knife to use on people, there is a problem. I don't think anybody carries a knife to use on people. People carry knives for different reasons, but the point is to have something instead of nothing. So a lot of people can't carry firearms. A lot of places you can't carry firearms. Why not just pull a pistol? Well, I'm a felon, so I can't pull a pistol unless if I'm doing it illegally, and then I got to fight those charges, right? Not that I wouldn't fight those charges, and I'd probably win, you know, in that type of situation, but you never know who the jury's going to be. And a lot of places you can't do that. And this is another thing. A lot of times a gun doesn't work, right? The story that I was talking about where I designed this, a gun wouldn't have worked. It absolutely wouldn't have worked. My dominant hand was grabbed and being ripped out of a car with people with guns. So what was I supposed? I would have lost that fight really quick. So the only way I would have been able to get him off me would have been to have a blade really quick to go after his arm, because, you know, anyways, doesn't matter. But there's lots of situations, and a knife also is not just good for that. It's good for the things that you can't use a firearm for. Like I always give different scenarios, right? Like a seatbelt, right? Cutting a seatbelt off of you if you're in a rolled over car. Or a child in a car and you got to get them out. A dog attacks your child and you don't want to take that shot. Doesn't matter if you have a gun. You're not going to shoot the dog because the bullet could go through to your child, right? It'd be better to have another type of weapon. It's not saying that it's the only thing, right? There's different things, right? It's kind of like, you know, you You have a flashlight. That doesn't mean you might not have a keychain light, right? Just because you have a flashlight, or, you know, you have a flashlight on your phone. Well, then you should never have a flashlight. Like, it's just stupid. Like, there's lots of different scenarios and things that you could be into. It's just being prepared for whatever you can, right? And not everybody's gonna be, but some people do want to be. Some people would prefer to be prepared than not be prepared. And people that have been through a lot of shit and have seen a lot of crazy shit like I have, you know how crazy things can get at the blink of an eye, and just how stupid they, and just like unpredictable. Everybody thinks that they can predict things that are going to happen. I promise you, if you're in a situation, you're not even going to realize, like afterwards, you're going to be like, I never would have thought that that would have happened like that. Like, that's how it always is. So, you know, thinking whatever you're thinking is going to work is most likely not going to. It's going to be some weird circumstances of which it doesn't. What's a better steel for all around, Rex 45 or M4? M4, I don't know. I think they're both really good, just for a little bit different reasons. I personally love the Rex 45. I love M4 too. The reason why I'm going to lean towards Rex 45 is because Rex 45 takes a really good fine edge and holds a really good fine edge. M4 takes a good toothy edge. Now, I haven't tested it with the fine edge, but to my understanding, it goes better with a toothy edge. Silvano, been a member for 10 months. Got my first ANV knife in MagnaCut 64 HRC. Hell yeah. Good HRC. That's where you want it. 6364. I was surprised to see Kershaw do that HRC test and it popped off at 64. That was awesome to see. Neeves, my guy. I just purchased a Civivi Cubit in S35. Oh, no shit. Hell yeah. With purple aluminum handles for $90. Do you think that's a fair price? And is it a premium steel or a super steel? So S35 is a bottom tier super steel. So like the top of mid-grade steel, because it goes budget or you know, low tier, mid-grade tier, and then top tier. So S35 would be the bottom of the top tiers. So, or you could say the top of the mid-grade steels, but I like to say it's the bottom of the top, because the way I consider 154 CM the top of the mid. So yeah, you're getting a premium steel. And yeah, $90 for S35 VN aluminum. Great action. I got one right here. I put the skins on this one, but yeah, it's an awesome knife. I got the EKNIVECO one too. If you guys haven't seen it, I did the test with these, where I tested these head to head, did an edge retention test to see which one cut longer. We fucked with the scales. These are covered up, otherwise you'd see all the damages. But yeah, we did a bunch of tests, and I have some more tests coming up very soon on the Vision. So the Vision's coming up next. I know it's a boring question, but really want to know your opinion on M390 aluminum bug out. Think it's worth buying? No. I hate to tell you no, because I want to encourage everybody to buy US. I really do. But the bug out, in my opinion, I don't know how much are they asking for it, because I bet you it's outrageous. I bet you it's outrageous, because their regular bug out that should be a $120 knife is like $160, $170. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This is $145. How can a bug out be more than this? That doesn't make sense. So with a superior steel. So yeah, I'd most likely will say I'd vote against it. Now, I'm not saying I vote against all Benchmade knives, but I do vote against a lot of them right now until they start lowering those prices. There's the USA tax, and then there's the butterfly tax, right? You're paying tax on both of them, and they're both starting to get outrageous. Jared has to be careful. The pocket clips tearing up his leather pants. Not my pants, my belt, you bastard. Hey, Jared, just bought my first Spyderco because of you. Nice. I'm willing to send it to you to review. It's the Mannix 2 Lightweight and M4. I beat the edge up already. No, it's okay. I appreciate that. But I'm probably going to pick one up. I'm really wanting to. I should ask them how many they have in stock. See if I got a chance to get one. Because it's low. I'm not, because it'll probably be a week or so till I get one, but I want to get one. The one, what? The one you have on now looks like a discrete carry concept clip. They work great. No, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying for me personally, I didn't like the way it treated my belt. So it hangs on tight, it does go over, and it's secure. I'm not saying anything like that. Just when I'm taking it off, when I go to peel it up, these little guys right here wind up scratching my belt, and my belt's like $125. It's a Hank's belt, a 100-year belt. With this, I don't worry about that. I tuck it on the inside, doesn't even go on my belt. So I could put this on my belt. I could put this in my pocket if I wanted to, but I just find it works better for me. To each their own. Carry it however fits you, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. I made my own sheath for it. Only costed me about $100-ish for the materials. Nice. Oh yeah, I'd like to see that. Send me a picture of that, Haven. My first knife was a pair of 3 lightweight, and I knew why people love spider toys. Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to get over to the dark side. I refused, absolutely refused to buy one for like 2 years. Then finally it was Outpost 76. You guys know who he is. Outpost 76 asked me, he's like, "You want to check one out?" And I was like, I kind of did at that point. Like, I seen so many channels hyping them up. So I was like, fine, like, yeah, maybe I do need to try one. I wanted to try the compression lock so bad because I hadn't tried one yet. And he sent me his PM2 in S110V. And yeah, I fell in love. Fell in love. Jared is so right. That everything is just right. Everything is just right. All the qualities in the world, still ugly as sin. I do my best, man. I do my best. The spider codes with the reverse harpoon hump are still ugly. At least they still have shaman, bodacious, Mannix, and native chief without the hump. The lovely lady lumps. My first spider code was a spider code Caribbean 3 to 4 years ago. I'm well over 180 now. That's how it goes, man. It's a slippery slope. I got to do a knife sale soon. I definitely got to do a knife sale. Hey, Tony, if you're in here, man, my email's neevesknives@gmail.com. Very easy. Neevesknives@gmail.com. Email me. I'll get you a knife sent out to you. I just shipped out today. So anybody who had packages coming, I shipped out today. So if you want a giveaway or anything like that, it's on the way. Neeves, what's the best EDC Warncliffe blade? I was thinking of the Spyderco Yojimbo. So I would first push you towards the Yojimbo, and then second, I would push you towards Precision Knife Works, the Warntac. I can grab it right now. So the Warntac is one of my favorite Warncliffes, and it's a traditional Warncliffe. He does have some coming, supposedly that he's going to have made in the USA. It's going to be a while, but it's got a deep hollow ground, Warncliffe blade, titanium frame lock, micro milling, beautiful geometry. He does offer a regrind too with a deep hollow. The clip works great. The cutout for the lock bars on the inside, so you don't have to worry about the clip getting caught on anything. Lots of jimping up the spine. So very, very locked in. So yeah, I would go with this or this. Warncliffe. Warncliffe. One of those two. That's what I would go with if I was you. This has got original goat scales on there. Just FYI. Hopefully they get those back in stock at some point. I like this knife a lot. Like a lot. Especially when you carry it. Some knives I love for different reasons. Fidget factor, the way they look, whatever. That one is just an all-around great carry and user. Hello, I'm following you from Iraq. Shout out to Iraq. Shout out to Iraq. My New member, Eli. Hell yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. Welcome. So not this Sunday. Is it not this Sunday or is it next Sunday? Or is it this Sunday? No, this Sunday. This Sunday we have a no, wait. I think this Sunday we have a members live. So this Sunday, if you are a member, show up and we have a live on Sunday at 12:15 Central Time. We do giveaways and we do a live sharpenings. I have to ask, are all Americans living in constant fear and feel they need to be armed at all times? No, it's our duty. It's our fucking duty. Because the government doesn't run us, we run our government. So it's our duty to protect, and like that's how we formed our country. Was off the backs of Americans. Like that's how it works. So the other countries look to their government for protection. The government looks to us for protection. The reason why we won't get invaded is because everybody's fucking armed. So we protect our own, and obviously we still have police and things like that, but it's our duty number one. And first off, if you've ever been through anything, nobody's showing up to save you. I don't care what country you're in or where you're at. Nobody's showing up to save you. Whoever has been in a situation and had a cop show up to save them is pure luck. I've been in a lot of altercations. I've never once had a cop pull up in time or show up in time or anything, ever. Shit, I used to fucking rob people based on that. Literally, based on the timing. Like I would set off alarms in places while I was robbing them, and I knew I had 15, 20 minutes. Not that I'd take that long, but I knew how much time I had. But yeah, man, it's not just fear, it's about being prepared. And I would say the people that are not, or especially in other countries, man, like I don't ever want to take the opinions of another country, because I watch sometimes what happens to some of these other countries, and their government gets tyrannical and has the ability to do things to them that they have no chance of doing to us here. And they try to, don't get me wrong, they try to, and they push the limits, but after it's like we let it happen for a little bit, and then the people start fighting back, and we have the ability here to do that. We have a lot of checks and balances. I'm not saying that, we don't have a lot of evil forces working against us, because we absolutely do. But hopefully enough people wake up and see that that's true. Knives make the world go round. Stabbing someone or shaving your face. Yeah, you can't survive without them. That's the thing. It's one of the oldest tools. It's the second oldest tool. So that'd be the hammer or the rock, and then the knife, right? Since the invention of the knife, which would be the beginning of time, we have never existed without it. Even with iPhones and rockets going to Mars and moon and all this other bullshit we have, we still need knives to survive. And if you don't have a knife, that doesn't mean somebody else isn't doing your cutting for you. That's all that means. Thanks, brother. It was because of you that I got one. I seen the video where you put it through a whole lot of stuff, even throwing it. Love it, bro. Hell yeah. What's Boss Man doing in that profile pic? Who's Boss Man? I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. How do I get a hair whittling edge? Is it lowering the angle? Yes. Or going higher grit? Lowering the angle. Just using my work sharp professional, or the pro. So I'm only getting up to 800 grit. Just can't seem to get hair whittling. So lowering the edge, go to 15 degrees per side. If you can go 15 degrees per side, you can get a hair whittling edge with 15 degrees per side. Make sure when you deburr with your ceramic. So bring up your burr on your last stone, right? On both sides. Make sure you develop your burr on both sides. And then when you go to knock it off as gently as possible. Even if it takes, quite a few passes, because you want to make sure that you don't interfere with your scratch pattern. So don't use the ceramic on the edge. Like, don't sit there and scrub it on the edge. Literally just glide it across the burr, allowing the burrs to snag the stone and fold over to the other side. Flip it over, do it again, and then it'll fold over to the other side. Do that a bunch of times until it snaps off or is mostly snapped off. Then hit it with the strap. You should have a hair whittling edge then. 15 degrees per side is usually a good hair whittling edge. The lower the angle, the sharper the apex, because what you're trying to do is the apex has to be, and you also want to use a good steel too, because some steels are not, they can take a 15-degree edge, but they're not as sharp as other steels because they just don't have the edge stability. So you need a good steel that can hold that edge stability, but that also will take and hold it. Both take and hold it. My missus says she's a little upset we didn't stop to say hi to you the other day after her friend's wedding. Where were you guys? You guys should have stopped by. What were you thinking? Should have contacted me. There's boss man. Appreciate the feedback, Jared. I hear you. Just like the look. Sorry for the double questions. I didn't see the first one go through. No problem, boss man. No problem. I don't mind double questions. If I can't find my FLN, I 100% will. If you can't find it, James, thank you for the 2 bones. Scent of the day preview. Scent of the day preview is Man Sarah Instant Crush. Man Sarah Instant Crush. I actually have a couple new ones. The other ones are like a soapy fragrance, and then the other one is a little bit of a, it's like a honey fragrance or something like that. It doesn't smell like honey, but that's like, I think, one of the notes. This is it that time? It's not that time. So we're going to get to that in here in a minute, but this is definitely a sweet, spicy fragrance. Yeah. Pair 3 regular or the lightweight version? Regular for the pair 3. If you ask me about the Mannix, I might say either one, but for the pair 3, I'd go G10 all the way, unless if you're looking for something extremely lightweight, because the pair 3 lightweight is a real lightweight. It's fucking light. To me, it's too light. I don't like it. It feels cheap to me, but a lot of people do like it. I used to think the same thing kind of about this, but this feels tough to me. Even though it's light as shit, it feels tough as nails. That's why I love it. Hey, Jared, any ETA on 6 micron? About a week, a little over a week, because it takes a few days to get from the UK. So bought the 5 ml. 0.5 and 1 want the 6, but also they will be back in stock very soon. Don't you worry. And yeah, we're going to restock with a lot of them too. So yeah, I recommend getting, like, if I was just going to tell you 3 to get a 1, a 6, and a 9. If you can get 1, 6, and 9, you literally have everything you need, because the 6, can be the happy medium. The 9 will be for the majority of edges you're going to use it for. Factory edge, toothy edges, medium grit edges, all the way up to somewhat of a fine edge, because 9 micron, let's look it up really quick. Let's see what it is. I forget. I'm not a genius. 9 micron into grit.
Here is information from
Okay, so 5 to 10, or wait, 9, 1800 grit. So that's 1800 grit already. So if your edge, let's just say your edge is 1200 grit, 1800 grit is going to be even finer than that. So it's going to work just fine. What happened to all the Joe X drama? He's loose. He's good. He's good to go. It was his government. Kind of like we were just talking about a little bit ago. No, his people in his neighborhood or whatever was calling on him, and his government came and seized all his guns, all his knives, all his everything, literally seized everything. And he had to go to court, and he proved in court that he did everything on his own property safely, without, without committing any crimes. Basically, everything he did was legal. He was legally able to own the firearms, but that's also, like, to me, that's tyrannical right there. Like, I fucking hate that shit. But in his country, that's normal. So he's got to live with that. But he got them all back now. So he's got his channel back, and he's got free reign to do whatever he wants. His government said you can do whatever you want, because we know you're doing it safely on your own property with your own guns, and they checked them all out and all that other stuff. So he's back in action. Back in action. But man, it's Yeah, sucks, man. Sorry for all the questions. Ah, man, ask all the questions you want at one time. But what brand is cheap to buy from that is still good quality materials? Spyderco is so expensive. Civivi. I would recommend Civivi, KIZER, Civivi, Cut, KUBEY. Those are all good ones. I'd push it towards probably Civivi as far as under $70, $70 and under, even like $80 and under. They're going to have some that are a little bit more than that. But they have knives from, you know, tougher knives all the way up to super slicers. They have everything you need. Great action. Yeah. KIZER does a really good job too. Like the drop bear, you can get the drop bear for like $95. That's an amazing knife. Or the Escort. I am stuck on a cut slip through. Just recently got an arc blast. That's a good one. A wood bront, a Mims, and got a secondhand Honorous. See, I wasn't big on the Honorous. It was okay, but the arc blast and the bront and the Mims, those are fire. Those are all great, great knives right there. Do you know when the new no blade play Microtech? No, I don't. They were supposed to bring it to, I think, Blade Show Texas. I heard, do not quote me on this. I heard they might have some available in Blade Show Atlanta. Don't quote me on that though. I could be making that up. I might have dreamt that. Jared, say you had to buy one titanium knife that is available that would you get $200 and under. The KIZER Miltaw. KIZER Miltaw. I'd go with the KIZER Miltaw or yeah, I'd probably go with the Miltaw. Right on the line of 200, 205. Miguron has some really good stuff. They got some really good stuff. Like badass shit. They have like 3 knives right now. Like the Flix 2. I think the Flix 2 is under 200. So I would go with the Flix 2, and the Flix 2 actually has a great clip. I'll pull it up really quick and show you. So I would go with either this one right here, and use my Amazon link. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to grab it for you. I'm going to link it. I'm going to link it in the description. $195 you can get it for. This one's the copper one, I think. Oh, no, wait. Wait, bronze. Yeah. It's got the bronze carbon fiber. I'm going to put it in the chat. So it's linked at the bottom right now, but I'm going to show it on the screen too. So I would get this or the KIZER Miltaw. So this is a badass knife right here. It has a front flipper. It's got a reverse flicker, micro milling. It's got a great clip. You can see the front flipper works great too. Everything works great on it. So this or the KIZER Miltaw. And then if you're going to get the Miltaw, use my KIZER link down in the description. Jared, say, oh, I read that one, but yeah, that's the direction I would go. The government should live in fear of the people. Damn right they should. Yeah, damn right they should. We the people, exactly. Jared, I was stropping my trainer knives and the bevel was shiny but not sharp. I figured out my angle was wrong as I was stropping. Now the knives are sharper than the factory edge. Yeah, so what I do is in most cases, especially if, so one thing you guys got to understand is angle is everything, right? So if you can get a knife from the factory that has a good edge angle and you throw it on the strop for a few passes, you can make that thing twice as sharp as it was. And like Spydercos are a great example of this. Any Spyderco I unbox, the second I unbox it, I look for my strop because I already know they have low angle edges. So I'm going to be able to do just a few passes and this thing is going to be hair whittling sharp. Like I've had more hair whittling sharp edges from Spydercos, from factory edges than any other company, aside from like Rockstead or something, right? But as far as, you know, regular production companies goes, after I hit it on the strop. So yeah, we the people, damn right. You can only save yourself. Cops ain't saving shit. No, they're not. I only had my green card for a year and a half, and I truly feel at home down here, minus the scorching Texas heat. Well, good, man. Good. I'm glad you do. I think I think, aside from, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but I think, it's important that we do have migrants or immigrants, I should say, not migrants, immigrants. But we just need to, obviously know who they are. That'd be the important thing. So we don't have terrorists coming and blowing our shit up. But we do need them. We definitely need them. For many reasons. I could go into it, but I'm not gonna. It's our duty to be scared shitless and eat pretty good. Police response times suck unless you're a dipshit coddled fucker. Ain't that the truth? Don't wait for help. Help yourself. Yep. Well, I would never. My brain just doesn't work that way. If I'm in a situation, my brain would never, ever, ever. It just does not go that direction. Like, who can help me? You know what I mean? Like, not saying like if it was certain circumstances and I had time that I wouldn't call family or whatever, to come help me. But talking about like in the moment, it's you, and that's the only person you can rely on. To think that a phone call is going to help you, you're out of your damn mind. I don't know if you got checks or balances. Your country is in a financial collapse from Ukraine. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. That's why most of us don't agree with that shit. But, just like any government, they're going to do what they want. We don't, nothing I can do about that. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is, right? But that's another reason. That's another reasons why we defend ourselves. They're obviously not protecting us. They obviously don't give a shit about us. I got the best tech Lito. That's a good one. I think I got it right over here. That's a damn good one. The Lito is back. I think I do got it. I'm gonna grab it. I think. Oh no, do I not have it right here? No, I don't. Sorry, I guess I don't. The Lito is a badass little knife. That's like one of my favorite little knives. Ancient humans used to cut umbilical cords with sharpened rocks. Yes, they did. Or they bit them. But we can all buy an AR-15 every hour on the hour in a basement full of ammo and cry about having to have good manners. Transparent Knives. Shout out to Brian in the house. I'm mad at Instagram for restricting knife content, but I'm also mad at every other platform for not being as good at Instagram for showing content. Ain't that the truth? I literally was just talking to Kara about this. I said, I'm about to open up an account I have a Rumble account, but I don't do anything on there. But literally open up account on a bunch of social medias that actually are okay. Because yeah, I mean, I paid for the check mark. I got the check mark on Instagram, but I don't know if it's working or not. Probably not. I don't even know how to check to see. But somebody maybe needs to show me how to check and see if my shit's not going out to because what they do is they hide you from people that are not subscribed to your channel. But yeah, man, it sucks, man. It sucks big time. That's why we need to find other platforms. I think that's just, it's kind of like vote with your money type of thing, vote with your view, because that's what they're paying. That's you are, the money basically. Any steel can take the edge. It's the holding that's important. Anybody can just take them. Any steel can take an edge, but some steels take better edges than others. Any steel can take an edge, but some get sharper and some hold a lot sharper, because some get very, very sharp very quickly and can get an incredibly sharp edge, but they also lose it very quickly. Then there's hold on a second. Sorry, guys. My doorbell was ringing, and it's a weird time of an hour for and then they started knocking. So sorry about that. Jared, it was my birthday yesterday, and the kiddos bought me a bottle of replica Jazz Club. I got some sitting right here, Big Daddy. Smells like a champ. Some good shit, ain't it? So anybody who doesn't know, the fragrance he's talking about right now is called Jazz Club. So the idea behind it is that it's supposed to smell just like a 2013 Brooklyn Jazz Club. Some people might say, why the fuck would I want to smell like that? But it actually has like almost like a burnt caramel smell, kind of a little bit, but it's from the tobacco, which is the cigars and cocktails. So it's got a sweet tobacco scent that's very warm and to me is addicting, like very, very addicting. I had to spray it on myself just now. Like to me, I love it. You can see how much left I have in my bottle. I thought about sending some of this to Marine X since he likes cigars. That's a good one. So the fragrance of the day we're going to talk about, you know, it's good. Like it's definitely a crowd pleaser. I don't think anybody would hate it, but I don't think I don't know if you'd want to wear it. So it's Mancera Instant Crush. It was supposed to be super good, so maybe it's just me, but it's a little bit too sweet. Like this is very sweet, has some spice to it, fruity notes. It is a it's supposed to be a man's scent, but it's definitely a unisex in my opinion. Let's pull up the notes really quick. I like almost everything Mancera does. So that's why I got it, because to me they're just an easy brand to buy. I've got like a lot of their fragrances, and like most of them I freaking love. This is one that I like. It's not that I don't like it, you know, I do like it. I just don't know how much I could wear it. But you guys, it might vary. So grab a sample if you're going to get it. It is, like I said, it's sweet, it's spicy. You can see the sweetness in here, the vanilla, the amber, the rose. It's got leather. I don't smell leather in it though. But anyways, warm, spicy, woody, amber, vanilla, powdery, citrus, musky, metallic, rose, and leather. The actual notes are saffron, ginger, Sicilian mandarin, Sicilian bergamot. Middle notes are amberwood, Moroccan rose, Egyptian jasmine, Indonesian patchouli leaf, and the base notes are Madagascar vanilla, white musk, sandalwood, and oak moss. A lot of notes in this bitch, a lot of notes, and you can kind of smell it. I think a lot of people would like it. I think it might be just me because, like I said, it was highly recommended. Now, the one that I have kind of fell in love with since the last time we talked about it, because we talked about it the last time, is the YSL Tuxedo. I got another bottle of it because I was running out. I got to make sure, because I wound up falling in love with it. So this is actually kind of what I'm wearing right now before I put on the Jazz Club. But this stuff, I put just a couple sprays right on my chest, just bang, bang. And what happens is at first, it literally smells like a tuxedo. Like, think about stepping into a suit warehouse or whatever. That's kind of what it smells like a nice fresh linen, but like not like washed linen, but like suit linen. But then all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, during the dry down, this sweetness comes out of it, and it completely evolves into this mouth-watering sweetness. It's almost like I don't know, I wouldn't say it's a fruitiness, but it's a little bit powdery. Not powdery. I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up and see what it is, because it's something that just pours out of it, and it's so damn good. Come on. So here it is. Let's look at it really quick. So here is the note breakdown. Patchouli, vanilla, amber, So that's probably what it is. I smell the vanilla for sure, but that's not the only sweetness. Ozonic, fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, balsamic, rose, woody, and aquatic. It's very sophisticated. I'll say that. There's a reason why it's called tuxedo. The notes are violet leaf, coriander, bergamot. Middle notes are rose, black pepper, and lily of the valley. Base notes are patchouli, bourbon, vanilla, and ambergris. So there was this lesbian chick I was watching, and she has a fragrance channel, and she was talking about how does she say it? She said she calls fragrances. I actually grabbed the wrong one just now. She calls fragrances what the hell does she call it? Like she has certain ones that she calls like it's almost like you could say like panty dropper or something like that. Like that would be like that's not the word she uses. There's other channels that use that, but she uses something specific to her channel. And it's always funny because she's talking about banging her girlfriend and whether or not her girlfriend likes it so much that she like is, you know, very attracted to her when she wears it. And she was one of the ones because she wears men fragrance, right? Because she's obviously attracting a woman. So most of the fragrances she reviews are all men's fragrances. And she was talking about this one. Well, then I went and watched it on like multiple other channels, and everybody like agreed across the board that it was really good. But when I first got it, I was a little let down because, like I said, the opening smells like a real tuxedo to me. But then, like I said, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, all of a sudden I started smelling the sweetness. And I was like, what is that? And I started looking for it, and I took the cap off, and I started smelling it. And I was like, oh, wow, it's that fragrance, you know? And I didn't know how to process it at first, but just over and over, I kept putting it on and kept putting it on. Something just kept on making me put it on. And now, man, I'm thinking about getting a big bottle of it. I don't want to because shit's probably expensive. But yeah. Would the Atlanta Blade Show make a good vacation destination? Depends. Depends on how you look at it. It's 3 days. For me, it's work, but I also have great time. So it's like a mixture for me, a vacation / work, but I love it, man. I love it. You get to meet everybody, you get to hang out with everybody. So it just depends. Like, yeah, you can. You know, everybody goes to the pit at the end of the night, so everybody's getting lit. So yeah, I mean, you can use it as a vacation. He works a government job. I've heard that's why it was so important. I don't know what you're talking about. How about not made in China? For what? Not made in China what? My Slish Buoy came in, definitely happy with it. Good for you. I love my Slish Buoy. I got the original, but not made in China will be tough, but Kershaw has some. So for USA, not made, you want USA? So USA, the only knives you're going to be able to get for under $100 are going to be Kershaw USA made if you want quality, in my opinion. Now, if you can handle between 100 and 150, Spyderco all day. Spyderco has a whole bunch of knives that are really, really good right around there. So, and then there's other ones too, the Hogue Deca. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit.
I might have a way to do that wood, just FYI.
Okay, we'll talk about it when I'm done. All right,
just for
okay. All right. My partner Glocks as well. I think it's a mighty fine protective. I just front balls, which equals balls. What?
Can you just tell me just hypothetically which size? This one or this one?
That one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but do we want handle if we can do handle?
Doesn't matter. Yes, more Wild Joe X conspiracy like knife brands and makers, fanboys, and more nonsense. I don't mind going down the conspiracy alley. You know, I like doing that. I don't personally mind talking about just about anything. I know a lot of channels shy away from talking about certain things. I don't know. I guess I just think a little bit differently. I'm just going to be myself. You know, I feel like by not saying what I think about something, I feel like I'm just not being honest, and I'm not being myself because I honestly don't care. So I don't give a shit if somebody agrees with me or not. And I've always felt like that. We don't even have to be like we don't even have to be enemies if we don't agree. We can literally be friends and not agree. I don't give a shit about agreeing. You know, everybody's going to have their own personal opinions on things, but some people don't like to get into stuff because they feel like some people are going to be upset, and then some people won't like them. Some people will look at them differently, or, you know, they might upset, you know, say somebody that they are friends with that maybe looked at them different. But to me, I don't know. I feel like I'm being dishonest when I'm not sharing my actual true opinion on things. I will be in Atlanta. Yeah. I was trying to buy my tickets earlier. I don't know what was going on. I'm going to try it again after I'm done with this. KUNWU Zen Compact under $200. Wicked sweet piece. All titanium. KUNWU's got a lot of great pieces. Yes. KUNWU's got a lot of great pieces. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it, brother. And you guys see that was the link I put in there. I know I need to catch up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm backed up. Marine X in the house. Shout out to Marine X. Shout out to the champ. Shout out to Marine X. Thank you for the 10 bones, brother. Go and watch that live we did last night, guys. That was a really good live. I was talking about it earlier, and I was saying how I really like your format and how you run the show, you know, with the current events and things like that. I think it's great. And I was saying, I hope I can kind of capture some of those things, you know, in the future with some of my lives, because I think you did a really good job. Very professional. Need a woman unisex scent on your website? Well, like I said, Instant Crush, this would be a unisex one. Mansara unisex. I would say a lot of women might actually like that one a lot. That's probably what's making me shy away from it. It's a little bit feminine. But there's a lot of fragrances just like this that men wear, and it comes off great. So I'm not saying if you wear it, it's going to come off feminine on you. I'm saying if a woman wore it, it would come off feminine, because remember, that's the way fragrances are. It depends on the person wearing it. Like, two different people could be wearing the same exact fragrance, and you will perceive it 100% differently. It's weird how that works. I just don't understand what being prepared for a worst case scenario has to do with being scared. I think he was being hyperbolic, but it's about being prepared, because the only reason why you'd be prepared is because there's an underlying fear, right? Like, the fact that you are being prepared for something means you are worried that there's the possibility of something happening. Obviously, saying scared is being a little hyperbolic, but it's just a point. Like, you're not going to step into action without some sort of underlying fear. It doesn't mean you're shaking in your boots. It doesn't mean you're staying up at night. It means that you're thinking ahead. Like, this could happen, and if this happens, it would be bad. And since I want to be prepared during this bad situation, I'm going to take care of it now. That does have a little bit of an underlying fear, whether it's fear of what will happen to your family, whether it's fear of not being able to take care of the situation, or the loss of power for days, or whatever it is. Like, it could be, you know, you can go down the line. But yeah, I think it is kind of good to have a somewhat, like, think about people that don't, right? Like, there's people that go through life never worrying about stuff like that, and they're the ones that always wind up in the shits, you know? So, and then they don't worry about it until it happens to them. And then when it happens to them, then they're like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, you know? And that's everybody that has shit happen to them. But then usually the people that have had it happen to them already, like, I remember my grandma telling me crazy ass stories. And I remember thinking, like, that will never happen. And sure as shit, that shit happened. Sure as shit it happened, you know. And she would always make you be prepared, like, for like the weirdest stuff. And I didn't understand. Like, she'd even be like prepping food, jarring food and putting it in the can room, and making sure we had food preserves just in case if something happens, we got food for months, you know. And yeah, so I read that one. Let me scroll down. I'm not even to the end yet. Damn, I am backed up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna scroll all the way down to the most recent comments. I'm sorry. I'm passing everybody's comments. Shout out to Marine X in the house. Definitely go and give him a subscribe, guys. Go and subscribe to his channel. Give him some love. Watch that damn video we did, and drop a comment in there. I'm gonna go and check them later. So I'm going to pop in there and see if there's any comments so that I can maybe respond to some. So I'd love to see some of you guys in there leaving some comments. That'd be awesome. It feels really good, guys. You guys have no idea. Like even Stasa, I left Stasa a message on his video earlier. He was checking out the FLN, and he's such a good dude, man. That makes you feel so good when you see people in the community supporting and kind of sticking together. Should I buy the titanium scales for my Manix 2? Do they feel chalky? And I don't want to spend more than like 50, 60 bucks. So if it's titanium never feels chalky. That's aluminum that feels chalky. So if you're worried about the chalky feeling, stay away from aluminum. For titanium from Flytanium feels smooth. It's just smooth. I have multiple different scales from them, and I've never felt any that felt chalky. So yeah, Original Goat has some aluminum ones coming, but they have patterns and stuff, so they won't be chalky. They stone wash theirs. They have different finishes, so you can kind of pick which one you want. You think you were watching their faces in 2016? Wait till you see the look on their faces when they cry for help, realizing they are betas with an open border of replacement Triggerman. Hey Neeves, when you reviewed the Maisto, how was the detent? Spongy. I asked because I purchased the Tonto and the blade would deploy from a slight shake and it rattle in the closed position. Yeah, I got the same thing. It's actually one reason I was gonna call it out the next time I feature in a video. I did say that it felt a little spongy off the start, but I was thinking it was just gonna get better, and it has gotten a lot better. Don't get me wrong; it's much snappier and like very smooth on the drop. But there's just like there's something spongy about it. It doesn't have that crisp break because you can hear it. So yeah, I don't like that. I like the knife. I like a lot of the things the knife stands for. I think it's a quality knife, but I just want them to get their detent down because I feel like my Hogue Deca doesn't have that. My Hogue Deca has a decent, and it's not like a phenomenal detent, but it's better than that. So the wedding I went to was in Cleveland. The after party was in Dayton. And now I'm going back to Dayton with some army men to train in the woods somewhere. You in those areas? Have fun. Have fun. I used your Hapstone link for a few Veneve stones. Thank you, Mark. Man, that's awesome. And I appreciate that. Just FYI, anybody planning on getting any Veneve stones soon? I don't know how long until they sell out, but I recently got in contact with a company. This company is sending me some of their stones to sample. They are going to have the ability to cut whatever sizes I want to have in stock, like those types of things. So they actually make them in-house, and they make different bits, different drill bits, different sharpening stones. So they make resin bonded diamond and metallic bonded diamond. I'm going to try both of them. And if they are as good as they sound, which they told me about all the testing they do and how long they last and all these things. They have more microns and grits than any other company I've ever seen. They go all the way up to, I think, 15,000 grit. So like Veneve only goes up to what, like 5,000 or something. So it sounds promising, but I'm going to wait till I test them before I start recommending them, but those are on the way. So we will be testing those. Now, I'm not saying if you already bought Veneves, good for you. You got the stones, the only stones you'll ever need. Truly. Yeah, to me, you need 3 double-sided Veneves, which would be 6 stones altogether, and 1 Atoma or 1 Hapstone start, which is just a coarse diamond. So if you have a coarse diamond and then the rest of Neeves, you literally will never have to get any other stones for the rest of your, well, for at least a very, very, very long time. Hey, I get hazard pay for whatever reason. Plus, I love nature. So hell yeah, I'm going to have fun teasing the LTs. I watched your recent kitchen knives video. They looked pretty good. I noticed you said don't put knives in the dishwasher. Is this because of temperature? So it's because what happens is the water gets into the handles and will make them expand and contract. So that's just one thing. The next thing is edges get beat to shit in dishwashers. You really shouldn't wash any knife that you like, that you want to keep sharp in a dishwasher. If you don't care about them staying sharp, put them in the dishwasher. But you want to make an edge go dull fast, put it in the dishwasher. They get beat up. So that's the main reason why, is because it destroys the edge. The second reason is because it makes it expand and contract, which can make the handle start falling off in the far future. And, you know, it can lead to rusting and things like that inside places that you can't dry. So moisture will get caught inside the handle, which will lead to rusting down the line because you can't dry it. So I say just hand wash them. Hand wash them, and you can keep them nice and sharp, and you can keep them rust free for much, much longer. Now, if you want to patina your knife, that's fine. Let it patina, you know, cut some stuff up and let it sit. There's no problem with that. But you don't want rust underneath your scales. Where can I apply for Sergeant at Arms and Neeves prepping crew? I'll DM you. You can there's a join button right next to subscribe. I can't remember who, but a guy made a YouTube video about adding the magnets on his Demcos. Oh yeah, no, I did see those. I didn't see that video, but I seen those on Instagram. The it's kind of like the Winter Blades magnet, right? No, those looked really cool. I thought about getting some of those. I actually might, if I can find them. I think they might work for more knives than just those, though. I don't know, but these non-airborne personnel do not know what LT means. Feet and knees together. I'm just guessing that's how he wrote it. Making an example of these whistleblowers without a moment's hesitation. Totally agree. I have 6 Neeves resin bonded stones and feel set for life. Yep. Yeah, you technically don't even need the reprofiling diamond stone. I say to have it because it cuts faster than the Veneve. So say if you have something thick that you really want to fucking cut through fast, get a 100 start from HAPSTONE. That's what's called a start. And that's just that line of stones. It's called starts. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. But anyways, they're very aggressive. That's the point. 100 grit's very aggressive. Or an Atoma 140. If you have that, you'll be able to grind down really fast and get to, you know, you'll be able to get right to your Veneves pretty quickly, but it'll reprofile fast. Then you ain't got to beat up your Veneves, you know, just reprofiling. If you run the heat cycle in the dishwasher, it can also ruin the heat treatment since it gets just as hot or even hotter than temper cycles. Damn, I did not know that. Never knew that. Thank you for that information. I did not know that. I just learned something. Then you're right. It does get damn hot in there. I mean, it gets hot enough to turn water into steam. So, the roaster been a member for 18 months. Please like the video and sub, metalheads. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the support. Can you make do? Can you make do with 100, with 150, 240, 800, 1200 Veneve? You're missing the 400 there. You need the 400. So the 240 is basically like a 600 grit. The 400 is basically like a 1200 grit. The 800 is a 3500 grit. So to jump from 600 grit to 3500 grit, that's too big of a jump. You need something in between. So you need that 1200, which would be the 400. That's what you're missing. I would say if you can get the 240, 400, 800, and 1200, do that. You can get by with that. That's 2 stones, 2 double-sided stones, so 4 stones altogether, 2 double-sided stones. And then all you need is 1 reprofiling stone. You can get 1 Atoma 140 or a HAPSTONE start or whatever aggressive stone you want to get. And then the other 4 can be Veneves. You can absolutely do that. Actually, the first Veneves I had, that was literally what I had. I had a 240, a 400, an 800, and a 1200. I didn't have the coarse ones when I first started. Many lieutenants are prior enlisted, so the butter bar conspiracy will not fly. You prefer the ghoul or the voodoo? The voodoo. Definitely the voodoo, for sure. I got the ghoul right here, actually. Cool knife. I do like it, but the voodoo is just a little bit more my style. Even though this is great, I love the way he did the lock bar on this. How it's a titanium liner. I love that. But yeah, this is really cool. If you like more compact knives, you might like this one more. The Voodoo is a little bit larger. Not that it's too big, but it is a larger knife than this one. Best bet is 80, 150, 240, 400. Will get you amazing edges, as the 400 Veneve, like Jared said, is higher in real use. Yes. Yep. If you want to be able to go to a polish, though, you need the 8 and 1200. The 800 and 1200 are the polishing stones. If you care about that, you might not. My 6x1 Veneve stones should be here in a few days. I could have bought a Chris Reeve knives for that much, but they're never in stock, so I finally grabbed them. So Kevin, good for you. I hope you used my link. You probably didn't, but no, dude, it's worth the money. Let me explain why. So yes, you're right. It costs about as much as getting a CRK, getting all those stones. However, they damn near last forever. They'll be the last stones you'll ever buy. Do you know how much money I've spent in stones before I ever got to Veneves? And I mean, seriously, I'm not exaggerating, not joking. Thousands of fucking dollars going through different stones, trying to figure out what stones were good for what. Once I got to Veneves, I've never went back. I don't even care. I could literally throw all my other stones in the garbage. I literally only have them for videos and stuff because the Veneves are the only thing that fucking matter. You know, obviously, and I always talk about one more diamond plate. That, you know, like I use other diamond plates because, like, say if I only need to go to 600 grit, I might not need to use my Veneves. But if I didn't have the diamond plates, the Veneves are all I need. That's my point. So that's one thing. Two, they are high quality stone. So if you're sharpening high quality knives, you want to sharpen. Somebody else said this a while back. They said if you have like 10 $300 to $500 knives, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a sharpening system that costs as much as one of your knives, or at least, or 2 to 3 of your knives. There's no reason why you shouldn't, because think about it. You have all these knives. Don't you want a high quality sharpener to sharpen those high quality knives? Of course you do, right? So it's good to, if you're going to go in, right? Go in, right? Don't pussyfoot around and have high quality knives and then poor quality sharpening shit, you know? So I think that's a good investment. I've never regretted my Veneves ever, whether they're my big ones or even the 1x4s I have right now. I don't even use them anymore because I don't need to, because I have 1x6 systems. I save them just in case if I need to do a sharpening video on a sharpening system that only takes 4-inch stones. But I'm happy I have them. You know, I can use them as pocket stones if I want to. Got my second Spyderco today, pair of 3 lightweight. CPM crew wear. Lefty sold me the one. He did a cut video with half off retail. That's awesome. 75 bones. First compression lock. Got some stick, but very solid. Put some graphite on there. So just take a pencil and just mark up. Here, I got one right here. Here's a compression lock. Open it up like this, right? And right where the lock face hits the tang right there, just put lead there. Put some graphite there. You can also use permanent marker if you don't have a pencil. So that if you use marker, put a layer on, blow on it, let it dry, put another layer, blow on it, dry. Do that multiple times. You know, I think markers are actually better than the graphite, but both of them work. What's your take on Shapton Karamamaku? I don't know. I have their, I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about, but I do have one of their resin bonded diamond stones, and I think they're good, but they don't cut nowhere near as fast as Veneves. So that's my only take on them. I need to get more of them because I only have the one, but the one I do have is supposed to be comparable to one of my Veneves, and the Veneve is definitely toothier. So Cody says, I have several stone sets, so I got the 100/240, the 1200/1500, so I can use a 500 and 800 diamond and finish on a Neve. Yeah, you can absolutely mix and match. So never think like if you're missing one, you can get it in a diamond plate. Don't think you can't. Like say if you want to go just fine grits for Veneves, you can go with all diamond plates for the lower grits, because that's going to be the same. You know, like say my coarse Veneve, right? There's no difference really between that and a diamond plate, aside from the fact that the Veneve will last 100 times longer, right? Diamond plates will wear out. You will have to replace them over and over. So that's the beauty about Veneves, but there's not much different. Now, once you get over a certain grit, that's when Veneve really takes over, because I can't think of personally diamond plates that go over like 1200, 2000 grit. 2000 grit's like the max, and they wear out so quickly. Like any any diamond plate I've ever had that was over 1200 grit, they just wear out like the second time you use them. Like they literally just wear out instantly. So that's where the Veneves come in, and the Veneves fucking give you that nice mirror edge that also has that insanely sharp, crispy apex that has tons of bite that's done by diamonds. Because remember, the goal is to have it done by diamonds. What's going on, Adventure Man? You got a package on the way. Just so you know, I shipped out just a little while ago. Sorry I was a little late on that, but it's on the way. What we got here?
You know, you have never gotten me an edible arrangement that Kendra has.
Oh, don't you fucking start.
Kendra's gotten me an
Don't you
edible
start.
arrangement before you.
Don't you start. Just one, good luck in 12 minutes when it wears off. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? America, spirit soldiers that shit out. Almost 5 in the morning here. The cats are circling the wagon wanting to be fed while I am up. We used to have a ton of cats at my grandma's house, like 32 of them, wild cats too. Some of them were like somewhat domesticated because they were so used to people, but then they would have kittens, and those kittens were wild. I'm talking about like steal a sandwich out of your hand wild. Like if you were eating something, they'd come up and snag it and take off running. When you threw food on the ground, they'd come in like and then fucking run off. It was pretty crazy. A couple of them were badasses though. There was this one in particular that would literally beat the shit out of dogs when dogs would come around. Like it was just such a tough cat. Like it had lived outside for so long and scrapped with raccoons and skunks and everything, coyotes probably. So thing was just tough as nails. Yes, you got a Marine X in the chat. Shout out to him. Like I said, man, go and watch that live we did last night. Make sure you leave a comment. You can see him right there. Definitely go and watch that video. Give him a like, leave some comments, and watch the rest of his channel, man. Dude's got some awesome channels. I was thinking I might ask him to one of these days for us to do a recorded video together. I think that might be kind of cool, where we both like record like individual content and then meet up in a video where we record us talking, but we both have our own B-rolls that we can put into it. You know, I think that'd be kind of dope. I think that'd be a really cool video, actually. I use Sharpo resin bonded diamond stones that are sweet. I don't know about those ones. Holding up well. A little drop off in the break-in period, but solid since. It's the 325/1200. I sometimes use as a cheapo 600 too. I've never heard of the Sharples resin bonded diamonds. I'm not saying they don't exist. I've never heard of them. That's cool. Oh yeah. My aunt has about 40 cats in her barn. They're inbreeding, coming out with one eye and extra paws. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of the same deal with what I'm talking about too. What you think about the Survive Knives Magna Cut situation? I have his knives and I love them. Siding with Survive owner. Which one? What was that one about? Survive, man. I know I talked about this and now I can't remember. Somebody please catch me up really quick. I'm just having a brain fart. I know what it is. I just can't think of it right now. I talked about it for a minute, I thought. Can't wait to try some stroppy stuff. Please tell me the stuff I got in your webpage is not coming all the way from the UK. No, it's coming from Vegas. No, if you bought it from our store, anything you buy from our stores, and it's at our store. So yeah, no, if you use my HAPSTONE link, the HAPSTONE link, then yeah, it's coming from the UK because you're buying it directly from the UK. But they get it here pretty quick. But no, if you bought it from the Neevekniveco site, we order them and get them on the site and then ship them to you. And yeah, dude, you're gonna be happy, bro. I'm telling you guys, like, the difference between quality stropping compounds and poor quality is night and day. You will never ever go back to shitty compounds again. I went through so many years of crappy compounds, and think about it, like right now, I have all the compounds at my disposal, right? There's a reason why I don't use any other fucking compounds. You know what I mean? Like I have so many that I could just be wasting and using, just to use, but they don't work as good. Some of them, like I found, like I remember, like at one time, because it was cheap, obviously, right? Because when you first really get into it, you tend to go for the cheaper stuff. You're like, it's all the same. And you'll hear somebody say that on the internet, it's all the same. And then you're like, oh, well, fuck it, it's all the same. And you'll buy it. And the next thing you know, you're trying to figure out, like, is it working? You're trying to check. It's like, it feels duller, and some of that's by error, or user error, of course. But then you wind up getting some good stuff. And then you're like, oh shit, like 2 passes on this is like 10 passes on that. Which in some cases, the more passes, unless if you're really good at holding your angle, you can mess things up by doing more and more and more passes. You want to do as little as stropping as you have to do in the beginning. Once you get good at stropping and you're really good at looking at your angle and identifying your angle, then you can strop away. It's fine. It's kind of like sharpening. But when you first are learning, you want to make sure you don't overstrop too much, because what tends to happen is you go like this when you're coming across the leather, you'll lift. That's one thing people do. And then another thing people do is they push too hard, and see what it's doing to my skin, how it's indenting in it. So what that does is it makes the leather curl around the apex, rounding it over. So just be gentle at the very least. Be gentle with the strop. As gentle as possible. Remember this. The diamonds do not need your pressure to work. They just need to touch the edge. They're harder than the steel you're working them on. So just get that angle right. You need them to go across the apex. If you can get those diamonds to go across the apex, they're gonna work, regardless the pressure. Some of the crispiest edges I've ever had was from me basically 2-fingering stropping. Like no pressure at all. My damn jewel. If I carry a survival knife, it needs to be able to sharpen on. So I'll say this. One thing, I disagree with that, and let me explain why. So one, a survival knife is normally going to be thick, right? No survival knife is easy to sharpen in the field. I don't give a shit what steel it is. The geometry is going to be difficult. Put it this way. One thick edge, I can sharpen 8CR with a thick edge versus Maximet with a thin edge. The Maximet will sharpen up 10 times faster than that 8CR. Geometry is what matters in the field. If you want ease of sharpening, it's not the steel. You got to get that out of your head. A lot of people think it has to do with the steel. It does not. You need to, especially if you have proper abrasives, right? If you have the Work Sharp field sharpener or a little pocket stone or something, what's going to matter is the geometry. And if you're sharpening on a rock, even more so, if you're sharpening on a rock, you're going to want thin geometry. Now, I'm not saying thin geometry is good for a survival knife. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just saying that if you're looking for something that's easy to sharpen in the field, you need something thin. or you better have some really aggressive stones, because anything thick just takes fucking forever. It takes forever, like, man, hours in many cases, hours. And then that's with the equipment. So now imagine not having the equipment. How long is it going to take you? A couple days? It'll get ridiculous. That's why a lot of times with those thick knives, people you put high angle edges, super high angle edges. They're almost like a wedge, you know. Is 9CR 18 MOV good for a survival fixed blade? I'd say it's on the lower tier, but I mean it's optimal. It's optimal. It's 440C basically. 9CR that's what it's comparable to. 440C. 440C is a good steel. It's a bottom tier steel, but still a good steel. So I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's great. I would say it's mediocre. Been teaching my nurse wife for those walks to the car park in 2004 invasion country. We're doing karambit sparring. She's getting fit again. Hell yeah. All right. Haven says, well, my missus and I are almost back home and I gotta work. Take it easy, brother. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, we're not going to be in here too much longer. What grit is best for Nitro V? So it's going to be edge angle is going to be the most important thing. So if you are going with a lower edge angle, you can easily do a mirror polish on it. Nitro V actually does very well with any edge you really want. It does good with a medium grit and it does good with a super fine grit. But the angle is going to be the deciding factor with that. If you're going with a higher angle, I would say just go medium grit. If you're going with a lower angle, let's say 17 degrees or lower, a mirror polish is okay. If you want a mirror polish, if you don't want a mirror polish, you don't need to put it on there. It does well basically between 400 grit and 5,000 grit, if not higher. But the edge angle will be a huge determining factor. The angle you sharpen at. Because remember, the lower the angle you sharpen at, the keener your edge, the sharper your edge will be, but the more brittle it will be. The higher the angle you sharpen, lower, higher. The higher you sharpen, the more blunt your edge will be, but the more tougher it will be, but the less sharp it will be. Cannot follow this dude's grammar or meaning, but the Magna Cut drama is great. What were we talking? We were talking about that survive something, man. I was trying to remember what the hell that was about. Are serrated edges easy to sharpen, razor sharp again? Not for most people. Most people, it's very difficult. What you can do is you can sharpen the opposite side of the serration. So say if the serrations are on this side, you can put this side on a flat stone and sharpen it like that. And that's the way you're supposed to maintain serrations, because you're basically removing steel back, exposing the serration. But eventually you're gonna have to cut in new serrations, and that can be a bitch. What I recommend is just getting a Dremel. Get a Dremel with the little round bits, because you're gonna want it. But so yeah, it's tough. So the cool thing with serrations though is that because it has jagged points, those points are what makes contact with, say, any hard surface you hit. So let's say you cut something on a ceramic plate. The little serrations, the sharp parts on the inside of the serrations don't ever hit the plate. So they don't go dull. So what do they hit? Food and vegetables and things that aren't making it dull. That's how they're able to stay sharp for so much longer than, any other type of edge. It's literally because of that, because the points and the tips are what hits the things that are going to destroy the edge first. What's my take on the MSI? I like the MSI. I was a little disappointed in some of the failures I seen going around, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it's a solid knife. I'll be honest, I like the Stitch more. If it was between the two, I'm getting the Stitch. The Stitch is more ergonomic. To me, it's a better blade shape, and the geometry is even better. But I love the MSI. Right now, mine's getting original goat scales put on it. I saw your review of the full-size Civivi. It is comfortable enough for everyday carry at that size. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. That thing is badass. Do I have it right here? I hope I do. Tell me I do. No, it's the Wii. Hold on. Damn it. No, I don't. Son of. Sorry, guys. I don't have it right here. That is a damn good knife, man. The more I had that in my hand, the longer it went, like after I, messed with it and carried it, just like little bullshit for the first impressions. I just kept liking it more and more and more and more. Like it got incredibly smooth. It's snappy, but it's a beefy knife. Like it's big, beefy, but yet still slicey. If we're talking about the same knife, I'm talking about the one with the gunner grips. That's the one you're talking about, right, Justin? The one with the gunner grips. Badass. That's a good one. I already planned. It's funny you should say this because if we're talking about the same knife, I already planned in the future of putting together a highly recommended knife, highly recommended knives video, and it's going in. It's got to go in because it is that good. If you like bigger tactical-ish knives, right? I'm not saying it's a hard use knife, so don't think it's a fucking 80-10 or anything. But if you're looking for something for a little bit more robustness, that's still very slicey and still very capable as far as an EDC knife goes, that thing's badass. And that grip, man, that gun grip on there, that ain't getting pried out of your hands, even in wet conditions. Oh, yours arrives Friday. You'll be happy. You'll be happy. It's a little. So this is the thing. It's spongy. So don't expect a detent. This whole thing. Don't expect a detent when you open it. Expect it to be a spongy opening, but that's fine, right? You don't have to have a crispy opening on everything you have. And that's definitely one that you won't. I wish they would fix that or do something about it, but I'm okay with it not. I'm sending Putin my favorite Neeves material, trying to land a big KGB 100,000 deal over here. And what are your bums doing? Knife maker and steel drama. This is the way. Maybe an extra conspiracy theory for good measures. I need one, man. You guys got to give me some ammo, though. I need some fucking ammo. We can go balls deep into conspiracies, but I need some ammo. Give me some ammo. Palmer, there's over 250 page topics on Blade Forum. On it is crazy. There's a lot of stuff on Blade Forums. Thank you for answering my question. Could you please stop cursing? Are you serious? What, do you have kids around or something? I don't know if this is the right show for your kids. I'll do my best, but it's very unlikely. I'll tell you that much. What's the best grip for S30? Yeah, I've always said that the lives are like that. You don't get that in my regular videos, but with here you get me. Not that I'm myself during the regular videos, but I try to cut back on cussing because of children. I want children to be able to watch it. For the lives, I want it to be as much as you're like. If you meet me at Blade Show, this is what you're gonna get. Let's just, so anyways, Lego says, what's the best grip for S35 yen? 600 grit. 600 grit. I find that to be the best all around. No more, no less. That's my favorite. You could go between 400 and 800 grit, like if you want a little some variations, but I always do 600 grit on S35. And the reason why is because it will, in many cases, not all, but in some cases, it'll take a fine edge, but it will get slick quick. So, like, say if you put a mirror polished edge on there and you start using it, it's gonna get slick. It'll get slippery. A lot of times it gets slippery before you ever even use it, like literally off the stone. You're like, did it get duller? Like, that's what happened to me so many times. Like, I would sharpen it, I'd be like, ooh, this is nice and sharp, and I'd keep going. The next thing I know, I'd be like, the fuck happened? There's my mouth. Anyway, so yeah, I think 600 grit holds the longest amount of bite throughout the life of the edge after you sharpen it. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. What's a bottle of stroppy stuff cost plus shipping? So depends on which one you get. I'll pull it up. So just know that they're coming back. They'll be back very, very soon. But come on. here is the bottles right here. So this is 30 mLs for $37. This is 5 mLs for $13. You'll get about 40 pumps out of one of these. So whichever one you get, you'll get about 40 pumps out of it, which if you really think about it, that's quite a bit. Let's say on a full-size strap, you'll use 3 pumps. So 3 pumps, and then you'll be able to reapply it, you know, X amount of times, right? So 15 times or something like that. Flying Papas. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. Just became a member, Neevesknives Bang Gang member. Shout out to you, man. We do have a members live, I believe, this Sunday. If I remember correctly, I think it's this Sunday where we're going to do a giveaway and live sharpening if you want to join. Yes, this stuff is expensive, but remember, it's diamonds, okay? And it's a high concentration of diamonds. Just because you can go find diamond emulsion on Amazon for fucking $10, do it. Do it. I dare you. See how much you'll like it. I know I got a bottle out there that makes me want to burn down the house when I use it. It literally leaks all over me, and because the diamonds get stuck inside the spray thing, and it's just a nightmare to use. Then a lot of them are contaminated, meaning like they'll say 3 micron, but really they have like 10 micron diamonds in there. Or you know, there's just so many issues that come with them when they're low quality. Or the biggest thing, and this is most likely what will happen to you if you buy cheap, the concentration will be so low that it will be almost it won't be effective. So then, because the concentration is so low, guess what? You have to reapply it more. So now, instead of reapplying, say, once a month, right, you're having to reapply once a week, you know, so you're doing 4 times between just one time. So there's a reason why it costs a little bit more. And, you know how things go, man. You get what you pay for. And in this case, I think Stroppy stuff's the best. I do think it's very similar to Gunny Juice. I love Gunny Juice, by the way. You guys know I've recommended them for a long time. I like Stroppy stuff a little bit more. 1, I like their spray nozzle a little bit more. 2, I like their color coordination better because I can tell what strop has what compound on there. And I can't confirm this, but I do feel like it might have a higher concentration. It's hard for me to tell because when I first started using it, I felt like they were one and the same. But the longer I use it, you know, and get a lot more use under my belt, the more I feel, because I still have strops with Gunny Juice on there, you know, so I have been able to compare them. And I still love Gunny Juice. If you have Gunny Juice, you're fine. You have a good emulsion. You don't have to buy Stroppy stuff unless if you want a color coordination like I want. Here's one for you, Jared. Supposedly let me shut this off. Supposedly France's president, Emmanuel Macron's wife, is actually a man. Some people are being sued because they spent 3 years trying to figure out her history. Isn't that weird? That is very weird. I did recently hear somebody that said that they would give up their career or something if they were proven wrong about that or some shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen some of the pictures, and I'd say it's probably a poor conspiracy theory, but it is weird when you can't find like children pictures of people, especially people that are high profile, because you know they do exist, right? Or at least you would think. But man, some of those elite people, man, I don't even know what to think, man, because when I look at a lot of what I'm just calling them elite. I do not consider them actually elite. I consider them in many cases evil, but I'm just using that as a term. I think a lot of them are evil and are doing weird shit, man. Like really weird shit. I think it's just kind of the nature of the beast. There's too many conspiracies with people coming out saying weird shit for it to not be. You know, like if one person said something, it'd be like, okay. If 100 people said something, it'd be like, eh. When 100,000 people come out and say stuff, you know, bad about, you know, that lifestyle and, you know, what they do and, you know, some of the secret things they have going on, then it starts becoming like, okay, all right. You know, pretty much everybody kind of agrees, you know, and then it's crazy because the ones that do, anytime they say anything, the ones that do, they always get ostracized. Isn't that crazy? They always get hung out to dry. All of a sudden, next thing you know, they're the villain, they're this, they're that. So yeah. Michael Papa. Oh, Michael. I like feeling like James Bond betting these beautiful country women in my Neeves vouched colognes and opening bottles of wine with my 4-inch folder. There you go. So I like that. That sounded good too. That sounded really good. I might need you to write for our NEEVEKNIVECO site. You sound like you could write some shit up for me. I just snagged the Concept Goblin XL from Reddit. Bang! Should be shipping now. Never found the want or itch for the titanium folder until recently. It's a good one. It's a, you know, it's got that crazy aggressive look, but boy, oh boy, listen to this. Great reverse flicker. Great clip too. The clip works really good. The cutouts on the inside, very easy to reverse flick. Front flipper works good. Great ergonomics, really good. It's big back here, so it's like you can really lock in back there. Yeah, you're far away from the edge, but you can choke up. Nice and smooth on the drop. Yeah, it's a good one. Not everybody was a fan of it because of its size, because it is big. But if you like big knives, I think you'll like it. You should be able to easily produce the pictures of your first 30 years of life easily. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I think they did have one of her like when she was like 20, maybe a 20 something. I did see her standing next to another dude, but it's tough looking at that picture. You definitely can't confirm anything. Let me just say that. You can't confirm shit with the picture. So it's tough, man. It's tough. And if it's not true, you know, man, that's tough on her then. Because that's I don't want to talk bad about her, but you know, you would hate to be anything. Like you'd hate to be a man where people are saying, I think that's a woman. And even worse to be a woman and people think that you are a man. That's even worse. It really is. It does suck. Imagine going to bed at night knowing that. Fucking half the world thinks I'm a man. And if you're really not, I'm saying if you're not, you should be able to, yeah, definitely. Just a lot of weirdness around the whole thing. Plus, I wouldn't doubt these elites are nutty. Oh, I mean, I think when you get involved in enough stuff, but I think that, like they say, like in order to even be a part of the club, you know, like there's people that are part of the club that are not part of the club, right? But you see what happens to them, you know, as time goes on. But all the people that kind of stay in the club that are actually a part of the club, like you hear weird shit, like how they have to do weird stuff, how, you know, like even like down to the way they dress, the way they talk, the things they agree with, the things they can't agree with. Like it's really weird. And you know, fucking propaganda, man. Everybody's bought and paid for. You just have to remember that, man. Those people are bought. And of course they are, man. That's their job. Their job is media to some extent. Like it's not like YouTube, right? Where like you're kind of doing your own thing. With them, they had to get big in Hollywood, where the elites said whether or not they could get in or not. I don't know. I hate to go down that alley, but it is definitely a fucking weird one. A real weird one. Sorry for the cussing. Jared Neeves knives recommends sub $200 titanium knives. KIZER Miltaw, Migaron Flicks 2, and there's a lot of them under $200. A bunch of Migarons. There's a bunch of Migarons you could get, but the Flicks 2 is probably the one I would recommend. There's another one that's a little over $200 I'd recommend. KIZER's got a few. You can go with the KIZER Sheepdog. You can go with the KIZER Original. You can go with, there's a bunch of them. The Cormorant. I personally would probably go with the Drop Bear, the KIZER Drop Bear with the LC200N titanium scales. That's not a titanium frame lock, but it's a titanium crossbar lock. And they, in my opinion, do the best crossbar locks money can buy right now, at least. Shepard with the 5 bones. Thank you, brother. Hey, man, finally not broke for once. Have you seen the SOG Prohin XR? No, but we're going to look it up. Looks like a killer beefy budget SOG with nice wide blade. I'm going to look at it right now. Prohen SOG Prohen XR. Is that what it was? Here she is. Oh, it's the Mikkel Williamson knife. Yeah, let's check it out. SOG has impressed me a little bit, but I was very underwhelmed with them for a while. $70. Let's look at the blade steel D2. Not too bad considering it's SOG. I will say, of all companies that do a flipper crossbar lock, SOG's got it down pat, and you can see why. Look at this. You see why? Can you guys see why their crossbar lock actually has a flipper tab and works? Look at how high that son of a bitch is. Look at the center of the pivot's down here. Look at that. So yeah, that thing is gonna flip good. Probably have a good reverse flick. It looks like a cool knife. I'm actually thinking about getting it now. Damn it. 8.5 inches, 3.5-inch blade. It looks good. It's a good looking knife. I'm not the biggest SOG fanboy, but they do have some stuff that's really, really, really nice. Like their USA stuff, man, is badass. I really like their USA stuff. Wasn't Joan Rivers killed after calling Michelle Obama a tranny? I don't know about the kills part, but I know she did say that. Stop apologizing, for fuck's sake. I could care less about politicians, sex life. It's their dude, I completely agree. I could care less about what they do with their downtime. I don't care about any of that. You're right. I care about the way they run the country, but I think it's just fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about. They're the ones that put themselves in the light, right? So if you put yourself in the light, then you put yourself in the light to be talked about. It just is what it is. But no, I do agree. I think we worry about them way too much. I think we look to them, absolute idiots, absolute morons. In many cases, have never had a real job in their life, have never worked for anything like a real legit way. Like a lot of them, kind of had their way paved for them. And then people look to them for like advice and like things like that. Like it's so odd to me. Like even like sometimes like some of the people like they'll choose for the president to talk to and stuff like that. Like it's all a puppet master, man. That's all it is. It's a fucking puppet master. Look over here, look over here, look over here. And I see right through it. So no, I get it and I don't like it. I don't mind sitting here bullshitting about it, goofing around. But when it comes to seriousness, no, I don't give a shit about none of that. What I care about is the real shit, right? The policies, things like that, good things for the country, and that's it. And I don't care what any of them say. Not at all. I actually think like whatever they say, I feel like in my heart, a lot of times, whatever they say, do the opposite. No matter what it is, whatever they say, because they've been paid to say it. So do the opposite. Don't you guys feel like that? Do you guys ever feel like that? Like anytime you see something on the mainstream media, no matter what the narrative is, it's like, maybe we should do different. Whatever they're saying, maybe we should do the opposite of that. It's a big club and you ain't in it, George Carlin. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. Yep. I read that one. The world is ran by satanic pedophiles. Yeah. It's true. I have an old school SOG Pentagon and it's fucking sweet. You know what? And what is that? The seal. That's what I was thinking of. The SOG seal. That is a badass knife. I never owned one. I've gotten to test it. I got to try it. I had one here for a while. I've always wanted to just beat the living shit out of one because it looks tough. It is tough. It is tough. Hands down, it's a tough knife. I want to know how tough. I really do. What was that diamond plate that everyone was on about recently from Amazon? So the diamond plates I recommend are if you're on a budget, I say get ultra sharps. They're if you go down in the description, the Neeves, not Neevekniveco, the Neeves Knives store and sharpening supplies or whatever it's called. If you click on that, I have ultra sharp diamond plates down there. That's what I recommend if you're looking for regular diamond plates and you're on a budget. Now, if you have the money, Atoma is the best for diamond plates, next to like HAPSTONE diamond plates. But for Amazon, you can't get the HAPSTONEs on Amazon. So the ones you get on Amazon are Atomas. And then other than that, the best of the best of the best is Veneve, but they are resin bonded diamonds, not regular diamonds. So if you're looking for diamond plates, ultra sharp or Atoma or DMT. DMT is another one. That's a USA made one, so it's a little bit more money, but they're good. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Good on you, Jared, for seeing through the bullshit. You got to get you. You got a great head on your shoulders. Yep. Do the exact opposite, and you'll probably be okay. Yep. Yeah, and it's crazy, you know, because when you're a kid, you're growing up and you see the stuff, and then you look back at it when you get an adult, and you're like, oh, I see what they were doing there, you know, because you see the outcome of what wound up happening. You know, I think of so many things that were pushed, and you know, now that I look at it, it's like, look what it's turned to, you know. But 9 years and your way through and consume pablum? What? Pablum? That caters to preconceptions. Sometimes you use words, guys, are just not in my vocabulary. I'm sorry. I think we all have different vocabularies here, and I'm probably the least educated in vocabulary, but I do my best. I do my best. In my state, Georgia, after you've been off felony probation for 7 years, you can go through the process of getting your gun rights. Is that something you can do? So yes, it doesn't mean you will. So like here, it's I think 5 years you're eligible to try. That doesn't mean you will. Remember, eligible doesn't mean you will. Eligible just means you can try. I do have some things in my favor, and I also have things against me. So I just need to go and try. But I'm gonna go and try. I just need to set up a court date. If I buy from your store, is that directly from you? Yes. Yes. If you know, if the Neeves Knife Co., not Neeves Knife Store. The Neeves Knife Store is Amazon. So I get a kickback. Neeves Knife Co. is my store. That direct, like either one, it helps the channel no matter what. But any other link down there besides Neeves Knife Co. is an affiliate link. So I get a kickback anywhere between 3 and 10%. It just depends on which one, you know. Like anything from Amazon is basically 3-4%, something like that. The beautiful thing with Amazon is that you can buy anything and I'll get a kickback. So if you go on there, like if you click on it, then the Amazon would be the Neevesknives store. Neevesknives store is that's my Amazon store. So say if you go there and you buy a damn couch or a dildo or whatever you want, it's going to give me a kickback regardless if the link you clicked on is something you bought or not bought. Doesn't matter. You can buy anything. After you click the link, you can buy anything and it'll benefit the channel. So that's why, you know, it's cool when people are buying their toilet paper, their paper towels and things like that for their house. They come and look for the Neevesknives store link and they use it up. I do appreciate it. A lot of people save it in their browsers or they save it somewhere where they can constantly use it. And I do appreciate that when people do that because it definitely is a huge help. Jared lives off dildo kickback money. He does. He does. He sees all the dildos you guys buy, all of them. Can't see the name, can't see who bought it. So don't worry about that. Don't worry. You guys are safe. Your secrets are safe with me. No, to be honest, I don't check it. I don't check it. I have, you know, back in the day, and I've seen a bunch of weird shit, but you know, I don't care about anybody's personal shit, first of all, but I can't see anything anyways. All I can see is what was purchased. I can't see who or anything like that. What? Just for anything? For anything. As long as you go to Amazon from my link, it doesn't matter what you buy. You can buy things that don't even have anything to do with me. You can buy medicine, doesn't matter. And that's why it's cool, like if people save it, because then when they do buy Amazon, they can use it and it supports the channel. And it's a huge support, man, when people constantly do that. The links are a massive support for the channel. And I not that I do my best. I don't allow it to get abused or anything like that. I'm very honest about it. I've been very honest about anything I've ever made. I've never lied about anything. And anytime anybody's ever asked me about anything I've made money on, I'm fucking 100% honest about what I made, how I made, and everything else. So I've always left that open to, if you guys want to know, just ask. I have no problem telling. I feel like it's better to be open about it, so that, because it's more likely you're going to trust me, in my opinion, if I'm honest about it, right? Like, I worry about the guy who's dishonest about the money he's making. You know, like, say a construction worker comes to your house, right? You expect him to make money to do a good job, right? But if he was trying to tell you he's giving you something for free, you'd be like, and you knew he was making something off the back end of it, you'd be like, what the fuck? What about a GIMP suit? Whatever works, man. Whatever works. All you got to do is look at the difference between American TikTok and Chinese TikTok. Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. But do you know that I don't know how true this is. This is just what I heard from somebody who traveled over there. They're only allowed to spend so much time a day on social media sites, and they have to do certain things every day or every week. That's like good. Like, I forget the things that they listed. There's like a list of things that they have to do. And so it's all like educational stuff. It's all stuff that's going to make a masculine environment for the men. It's all things that are going to make intelligent people. It's all things like porn. You'll get if you watch porn or anything like that, you get struck down. And if you are affiliated with anybody that watches porn, you get struck down. So it encourages you not to even be around. And I'm not calling people degenerate to do that. I'm just saying, like, that's what they would look at it as, like, any type of, and not just specifically that, but any sort of degeneracy or anything like that. They look down on it, and they try to punish the people that are associated with anything like that. Like, even down to like alcohol, like how much alcohol you can consume a week. Like, you can get because they have the what's it called? They have the social credit score shit. So, and that's basically what that's all about. So, like, if you're drinking too much this month, it'll go down, like things like that, like crazy. I would never want to live in that society. Looking forward to seeing your Rhea knife design. I know, man. I know. I want to show you guys so bad. I want to do some sneak peeks very soon, though, because the prototype should be done very, very soon. Yeah, I'm excited. I heard Andrew Schultz just made that up and media ran with it. I think it was backed by study afterwards. I don't know what you're talking about. When you guys bring up something, just give me a hint of what we're talking about. The Great Firewall of China. One more question. The way I collect knives, the most of the time, I like to get one of every flavor. Any oddball steals on knives you recommend recently? Oddball steals. Well, personally for me, I did a video recently on my favorite steals. You can check that out. K390 is my absolute favorite. I definitely recommend Rex 45. And they're going to sell out soon. So if you don't get it quick, they don't even have any more coded versions available. So if you want to get Rex 45, go to my GP Knives link and grab one of the satin versions. Yeah, I like those steels. I do have an oddball steel on the way right now. I don't know if it's any good, but we'll see. I sell folders and autos to some of the honeys at the club. I'll need some of these deals. Porno mags and DVDs to the rescue. I made my first knife handle a day ago. It came out great. Any handle kits you recommend? I wouldn't know about that, but Luck Knives would. Luck, are you in here? Let's see if Luck's in here. If he's in here, he'll tell you. He's a knife maker, or any other knife makers in here that know any kits. Will the Riet design be available in a full titanium version? Absolutely. Absolutely. We got full titanium and K390, 63 HRC. DLC coded too. It's going to be bad ass. And it's got a pattern and a finish, not finish, a pattern a milling pattern that you've never seen before. Is the TKELL FLN? Yes, it's available right now. No, it's available. It's ready to ship. You can get them right now on TKELL. It's linked down in the description, like near the bottom. You can get it with the karambit ring or without. If you get this one, then you're gonna get the G10 karambit ring with it. If you buy the one without the karambit ring, so you either get the one with the metal karambit ring or it'll come with a G10. Let me just take it out. I'm about to do the video, so I apologize. I've been trying to get this video done. It's just becoming it's a lot tougher than I want it to be. So it'd be like that. So you can have it with that on there or with it off. Or you could buy it with the metal ring. And in that case, obviously, you can't take it off. I originally had it like this because the point was for it to be concealable right here. So you can easily get to it and get to work. And get whoever's on you off of you. That's kind of the point. Or whoever's pulling you, dragging you, on top of you, or whatever. You can do maximum damage as fast as possible. It's not made for the attack, right? It's made to be, for defense. Because for an attack, I would say get something that pokes far, right? Something that you can poke far with. But that's not what we're looking for here. Because by the time, and most of the time, man, when something like that happens, where you're really in a life or death situation, the person ambushes you. You don't have the choice, to fight back until it's too late, where it's like you have to fight back. So at that point, you want to, sometimes it's difficult because I've watched people get their firearms taken right from them. Literally. I actually even had that happen to me one time. But anyways, yeah, I've seen people because the person was not concealing it very well, and they seen that he was carrying one, so they just set up a scheme right then, or set up a plan right then, took it from him. What could he do? Once the gun was in dude's hand, there was nothing he could do. And then a lot of times they'll just pull a gun on you and then take it from you, and now they'll just go sell that on the street. So it doesn't always. It's crazy the way things work, man. It's not always the way you plan. That's why it's good to plan for stressful situations. That's why I always say just plan and go through, put yourself through stressful situations, exercise, right? Exercise so you're prepared to lose your breath. You're prepared to run uphill. You're prepared for whatever, right? So get some exercise and then put yourself in stressful situations. And then if you can, do some combat training if you can, wrestling, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, wrestling. You can do trainers and shit like that, like kind of like what ShivWorks does. Do as much as you can. But just know, it's most likely not going to happen the way you think or want. So that's why it's just good to be prepared for anything. Always have a plan B. That's why you have a shower gun and a spider coat and LC210. Exactly. Exactly. You got it. What kind of lock on your knife with React? It's a frame lock. It's a frame lock. Yeah, I got the symbol because these are my first folding knife designs. I did technically put together my own lock design, but I have to get patented, and there's so much time that will go into something like that. I want a knife design out there, a folding knife design. And since I had the ability to work with React, which is a privilege because a lot of other people try to work with React, and it's not as easy. So I'm very grateful that I was able to get in when I was. Most people have to wait like a year or two. So my point is that I wasn't going to let that slip through my fingers, so I had the opportunity. I took advantage. Yes, I love the design, and I like that I was able to do a bunch of unique stuff, but I didn't do a unique lock just because one, people like frame locks more than any other lock. I even did a poll on this, which is crazy. I would not have thought that, just like even regular flippers outbeat front flippers. I would have thought the front flipper would win today, right? Maybe a couple years ago, the regular one, but plan B has saved my future. Yes, sir, Anthony. It's always good to find some other NAF nerds. What kind of I wrote down? I read the Spyderco runs the Rex 45 at 66 HRC, but not sure if that's accurate. Sounds about right. They usually run their shit high. So whatever the high side is or the optimal range is, that's usually what they do. That's what I fucking love about Spyderco, man. Spyderco, they care. It's like the past 3 years, they've really, really cared about their heat treatments. And I'm not saying they didn't care before, but the past 3 years, it seems like they have really hired teams of like good heat treaters to push their steels to the limit. And I love it. That's what I want to see. Have you checked out the Arcona Baran? Come on. Okay. That looks kind of cool. The Arcona Baran. 385. Looks pretty cool. Looks like Real Steel did it. Did Real Steel do this? For some reason, it's giving me Real Steel vibes. It's giving me like a mixture between, because Real Steel always gives me Shirogora vibes. Not saying they have anything to do with each other. I'm just saying they always give me that vibe. This kind of gives me a mixture of that too. I like that lock bar, the way they did that. Oh yeah, that's dope. That is dope. Look at that. It's a lock bar, but it's cut out beyond the front seam of the scale. That is dope. And then it has a little cutout here. So that must be a secondary piece that's screwed on to this liner. That is cool. Hell yeah. Damn. I'm gonna have to, man, I'm gonna have to reach out to them or something. Who are these guys? Arcona. Does it say the OEM? No. It's limited edition of 200. Ooh, that'd be tough. Jared, Spyderco's Crewwear versus Rex 45 edge retention. Rex wins, yes. And Crewwear's tougher. Yes, that's exactly it. Yep. Rex 45 wins in edge retention. Crewwear wins in toughness. However, I think Crewwear, it's hard. I'd have to do a test, but Crewwear might outperform it with fine edge holding ability. Obviously, Rex is going to beat it in the longevity of edge retention, because once Crewwear's fine edge goes away, the working edge goes away too. But Rex has both fine edge and working edge holding ability, so that's why it has such good edge retention. Anyone see the new 14C Two Sons? I did see some, and you're right. There's some that were catching my eye too, and I started thinking, like, should I give them another run? Yeah, every once in a while, I like to buy a couple Two Sons to see how they're doing these days. See if they got their shit in order. There's some new ones on the Knife Nuts podcast, but limited. Yeah, those ones just said 200 pieces. That's tough. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, I think this Sunday we have a members live, which would be a giveaway and a sharpening, I believe, because I don't think last week we had one. Anyways, so look forward to that. We'll be doing a giveaway once again, like always, like every members live. So if you're not a member, join the membership so you can be a part of 2 giveaways a month. By the way, I'm going to be doing a video very soon. Listen up, guys, because this is kind of big. A company sending me a wooden chest full of knives, full of WeKnifeCo knives to give away. So we're giving the whole thing to one person. It's going to be a lot of money and shit. So I'm just saying, I'm going to do that on the channel. I can't do it to the members. I have to do it to the channel because that's kind of the rules. But, obviously the subscribers are going to have, they're going to be the main ones that are going to see it coming. So I'm letting you guys know that that's going to be coming up here pretty soon too. And it's really cool that they're letting us do this. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. And the knife box is dope. Like, it's a nice knife box. Like, it's not no cheap piece of crap. This is a nice knife box. And it's multiple layers. So It's going to be really cool, man. It's going to be really, really cool. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for all the support. Like I said, Sunday we'll be doing the members live and a giveaway, or members live, sharpening, and the giveaway. Tomorrow I got some really cool videos coming up, and I'll be having the FLN video within the next 2 days. We'll be slicing and dicing in a video. I love you guys. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.